offline. Okay, welcome everybody. This is Jim Feist in Las Vegas and Hank Goldberg in Florida, but soon to be in Vegas in a few more days. We'll be out here. And I know moving is always very difficult, Hank. I'm sure you're very stressed about all that, putting it all together.
Yeah.
You're moving across country about as far as you can go and still be in the United States.
Yeah, that didn't hurt my handicapping yesterday. I had a good day in baseball and gave out a soccer winner. And if I get Switzerland in today, that'll be good. I liked a couple of baseball games today. I like the Dodgers. I gave that a nice 5-pack for baseball. The Red Sox are playing pretty well right now. I want to see what Bumgarner does today for the Giants. If he can get through up to 7 innings. I got to keep an eye on him. The Giants really need him.
That's a tough matchup. Freeland is actually a pretty good pitcher, and that could be a very, very good pitching matchup. It's a big price on Bumgarner because he's got the name, but that could be a very. I kind of look for a low-scoring game there.
Yeah, I'll just be curious to see what Bumgarner does. They haven't gotten him a lot of runs when he's been pitching.
Well, they are a team that can go out there and scrap for runs. They're not a big run producing club, for sure. The Yankees have bounced back a little bit after their Toronto or Tampa Bay visit. They've beaten Philly a couple games. That's a big game today too, because Philly.
I'll tell you who's been hot: Cincinnati.
Very, very hot. Yep. I wouldn't be laying a big price against them right now. They're playing very well. The Dodgers had been playing pretty well. They blew a game the other night. Gave up a ton of runs. St. Louis is playing a little bit good too, and they picked up a couple wins on the road against Milwaukee. Came home, beat Cleveland a couple games. They're playing very well. So it's a long season, 162 games. These teams go through cycles. What you saw in April, it's not necessarily what you're going to see in June and July. And
I'll tell you, a team that's playing poorly right now is Detroit. They have no bullpen whatsoever. They've been blowing leads game after game. They're a pretty poor investment.
Yeah, they are. Anything on the football front that you find interesting? We got the NFL.
I saw an interesting piece. Chris Andrews, who's a real good guy, who's runs a sports book. One of the sports books.
South Point, I think.
Was quoted about how he makes adjustments for different quarterbacks. And there were a couple that I disagreed with. Of course, he had, the number one quarterback he had rated was at Green Bay, and he actually had him rated over Brady. And he had Brady second, along with 2 or 3 other quarterbacks. He had a couple of guys who were, he had actually Cam Newton right there, right next to Brady. I don't see that. I don't think Cam. Something they can win. They win games when Cam Newton comes out because their defense is so good, and if they can get a running game. Newton is not consistent. I don't think he belongs at the top anymore. Well, we'll see what happens with North Turner in there as the offensive coordinator now. But Mike Shula did a good job. Of course, Mike is now with the Giants, and I think that Eli Manning, who he had towards the bottom, they've got a young quarterback there who's not too bad, but he had Matt Ryan near the bottom. Matt Ryan's good, and he had some problems on the road, but they need him because he has teamed up with their top receivers very well, and I think Ryan belongs to be higher rated than Chris had him.
I don't know what criteria he used. I mean, if you're rating the quarterbacks, if you're going to start a team, which quarterback are you going to draft first and build around? That's one thing. If you're rating the quarterback based on the team he's with, concerning with this running back.
This is based on the numbers, and the whole thing came about because with what's going on in Tampa, with their quarterback being out for the first 3 games, how it's going to affect the spreads there. And he's making like a 2-point adjustment with him out, but because he's got a decent veteran backup behind him, but. If Atlanta lost Matt Ryan, I think that would be big. Ryan for any reason. Ryan is a very key guy to their offense, and they're very much dependent on him. And I think he's a terrific quarterback.
Well, he is a terrific, and obviously Atlanta agrees with you. They paid him $150 million, which is not chicken feed. When I look at a quarterback, if I'm looking at it just who do I want to start a team with, I'm gonna.
But that's not what he's talking about.
No,
he's talking about the adjustment in the line if the quarterback is out.
Right. Well, to me, the biggest drop off would be. I agree with Aaron Rodgers. I think Matt Ryan being out would be a major blow. I think the biggest blow in football would be Russell Wilson. And why do I say that? Well, because he accounted for 80.3% of Seattle's offense last year. So
and he rated him up there.
Yeah, that would be how the hell do you replace that? So yeah, I could see. To me, it would be Rodgers, Wilson, almost dead tie, and I would not have Cam Newton way up there at all.
Well, I think Rodgers would be the most significant. Brady is right there behind him because if Brady's out, since they since they got rid of his backup, who is now such a big factor with San Francisco. And by the way, he was listed fairly high. And I think the Rams quarterback is probably somebody you ought to be looking at right now among the upper echelon in quarterbacks.
Well, to me, he hasn't proven himself enough yet, but yeah, the potential is there for sure.
Well, if he's not playing, what do you look at? How do you factor him in with a line adjustment off the season that he had?
Well, it depends on who the backup is at the time. Some of these guys have good backups. Look what happened with Carson Wentz, and they go to Nick Foles. I mean, as it turned out, there was no drop off at all.
Yeah, but there was a drop off in the line initially, and the line makers proved to be wrong.
Totally, which you and I took advantage of and make some good money. So it's a lot of speculation, and we're really getting down to it, and it's getting close, and I'm kind of excited about it. I'm doing a lot of work Matter of fact, I'm doing a lot of work right now today on the NFC West. And I've done the East, I've done the South, I've done the North in the NFC. I'm doing the West today. And then I'm going to start doing some over and under bets on the season win totals, which is going to be very interesting. So there's a lot to do. I mean, a lot of people think you just turn the TV on in September and you're going to pick games. You got to do a lot of digging. There's so much to do to be prepared for the season. I know you had a great season last year, Hank, and you were right there in all the contests, and I think you won the Review Journal. And
I did, yeah, by 4 games.
Yeah, you killed it. You did kill it. Good job. Anything else you want to cover today? I see where the Lakers look like they're trying to get Kawhi Leonard, making a real push for him. And of course, then Magic said he's going to try to, if he gets Kawhi, he's going to go all out, full court press to get LeBron. And that would be a heck of a matchup.
I don't know. I don't have any insight as to what's going to happen there. I know that they haven't given up on Kawhi where he is right now. A lot of people think that LeBron might stay in Cleveland, that they're not giving up on him there, and that they may go after Kawhi.
What's their situation with regards to salary caps and stuff there? I mean, can Cleveland afford to bring anybody in?
Sure.
And they've overpaid for a couple of guys there. It's just ridiculous contracts. But
actually, I think they also got rid of some high salaries there. So they don't have a lot of big salaries besides LeBron's.
Well, they paid Tristan a lot of money, and they paid JR a lot of money. Well, both overrated, of course, but they did. They have Love. They want to keep Love, but it's an interesting. The whole thing's a whole interesting debate and discussion. But Hank, anything else you want to discuss before we sign off for today?
I don't think so. It's not much. A little slow right now, so let's focus on baseball every day and see what's going on there. And the football odds for the season are out, and I guess Green Bay is up there as one of the favorites, and I don't know what they think about New England next year. New England has lost some players, and there's all kinds of rumors going on there. Whether Brady is going to be up to snuff at his age. But I think people think that Green Bay made some additions on their defense that are going to help them, and added a tight end that's going to help them. So Green Bay seems to be the public's choice right now.
Well, not mine. I actually favor Minnesota. They rolled the dice with the quarterback change, but if it works out with Kirk Cousins, they have strong defense, running back coming back, addition on the wide receiver area. I mean, the Vikings just seem a little bit more together than the Packers. Granted, you can never discount a team that has a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, but when it comes to other factors in the game, especially the defensive side of the ball, I think the Vikings have quite an edge.
I guess got some defensive additions that they like. I question the coaching there. I think Minnesota has a coaching edge.
Yeah, they definitely do. I totally agree with that. Well, okay, Hank. We'll talk again on Friday if you have time. I know you've got a busy weekend. You're moving out here on Saturday.
I got to tell you another quarterback that's very much underrated in that survey or whatever you want to call it that Chris did. Houston. He didn't make that much out of the Houston quarterback situation. That was a huge difference when that kid went out last year. And if he's healthy, he's a big difference maker for them. And I think he had him rated in the bottom quadrant there. And I'll tell you something. I would rank him among the top 6 or 7 guys. He was a big difference maker.
Yeah, he definitely was. I like the Texans this year. I think that they're going to be very strong. I like the defense. I'm not going to give high grades to the coach. I'm not really sure that he has proven himself as the head coach in the league. But I like the team. Certainly like the quarterback, and a lot of talent. I mean, they opened on the road at New England first game. And by the way, I took 7 in that game, so I've already got one. I've already got one play in for that. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. Hank, thank you very much.
Well, you took 7 in that game.
Yep.
Let's just to focus on that quarterback. If he got hurt in preseason, what would the number go to in that game?
Watson. We're talking about Watson.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be probably a 3-point adjustment, probably 10 and a half.
I agree.
Yep.
He was. He made a big difference when he went out for Houston. They were sailing with him in there.
Oh yeah, what he showed us last year before he got hurt was pretty amazing.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot still to be proven. I mean, you can look at Garoppolo. He came out there to San Francisco, played 5 games, he had 5 winners and 5 ATS winners. That's against the spread. And are these guys flashes? Were they flashes? Or are they going to be sustainable? And maybe not a 5-0 type record, but their youth is taking over, and these guys are good. I'm optimistic that this is going to be a great season.
Okay, let's hope so.
All right. Make sure you visit JimFeist.com. Hank's Picks, my picks, lots of articles, blogs, everything else. Hank, we'll talk to you again in a couple days.
Okay, have a good day.
You too, Hank. Bye-bye.